This is Jackson Nagai Jr. A monster on the mats with a relentless pace, and the real question is, did I just f myself by challenging him? Quick, let's see the list of what it means to get f. Am I wearing a gi? Do I get tapped a lot? And does the roll look worse than Gordon Ryan's current style? Unfortunately, that first point's a dead giveaway. I hate wearing the gi, and look what I'm wearing. That's plus 1 point for getting reamed. We're 20 seconds into the video and I'm already having to deal with this G.I. Joe lookalike passing my guard by throwing my legs to the side. I'm posting against him, but that gi makes it impossible for me to turn into him, and I'm just gonna have to accept failure. I guess my back has found a new home because I feel pretty glued here. He's driving into me so I can't use my frames effectively if I want to shrimp, and I know if I turn away against this guy, I'm probably gonna get choked. I know a lot of white belts have been crushed in this position, so you're probably thinking, what goes through a black belt's mind? And don't worry, it's all the same thoughts that you guys have. What should I be eating for dinner? Why did I go to the gym today? Do I have to drive home with the radio off? Those things are going through my mind until I'm able to grab onto his foot, so I feel like I have one exit out if I can just lift this and start shrimping. But guess what? When I feel like I have a hint of success, he uses that pesky Kimura to lock up my arms, and he's switching it right into an armbar. Not wanting to have my elbow pop this early in the morning, I tap sooner rather than later and realize I'm going to need to turn it up a notch. And by that I mean standing up and pretending I know how to do judo, but actually I've never done judo a day in my life. I do know how to wrestle, but the second we throw on gis, it's like my wrestling goes out the door because it grips. I realized I'd have better luck just trying to pull his pants down, so instead I go for a single leg X and pull guard, hoping this will help me out. He falls back after his bolt cutter submission didn't work, but this was a secret technique he used so he could get my leg offline and start shelving it. Then he brought his weight back on top trying to crush me and force dope mount. Now of course I can't let that happen. But then I remember I'm not quite in control of this roll, but I need to get some type of control back, so I insert my right foot, trying to prevent him from passing my guard until he brings in his own feet, and he's going to transition into a long step pass to go right past my legs. Then he does the common jump to take the back once I turn into him. Generally from the turtle I feel pretty safe, but when we're in the gi I have a lot more things to worry about because of the lapels. I want this guy to try and take my back so I can foot pummel my way to safety and turn into him. Unfortunately, he has a good grip over my lapel and you can't see it, but he hits me with a quick clock choke and I have to tap out for a second time. Looks like things aren't going too hot for me. On the list of getting I am indeed wearing a gi. I've already been tapped twice so far, which is way more than normal, and now I'm just hoping the roll doesn't get any uglier. Let's find out. I start seated, trying to post against his shoulder, and I avoid his quick triangle attempt, and I throw him into single AX, but watch what he does to it. Great guard, Tyler. I'm glad to see all my years of training have definitely paid off. But even when I'm sucking, I know what I need to do. I have my elbows tight to him to establish some frames and I want to stop his hand from climbing up my lapel. But he starts pushing down my left hand and attempts to wrist lock it since I was using it to frame. I was lucky enough that I could pull it out in time so I wouldn't get wrist locked because who would ever let that happen on video, until he does the same thing by pushing my wrist down as I'm cross framing, and this time it works. Embarrassing. Accepting my role as the grappling dummy, I go at it again, this time hoping I've somehow learned judo in such a short time since the last submission, and he starts by attempting to elevate my leg with his left leg to get me off balance. Thankfully I'm not a complete fraud and don't go down the first attempt, but that doesn't mean I won't do it on the second. Now right here is a great example of why I love no gi so much and I don't like gi at all. I just don't like grip fighting. He's manhandling me by controlling my lapels and dragging me, pushing me all over the mat, and I'm just hoping I can grab onto a leg and then drive. Seeing as how it isn't going to happen, I grab his cross lapel and I sit to guard, and like magic, he actually decides to strip the grip I have on him. I say magic because in my last video I was able to destroy everybody with this cross lapel grip, but it doesn't look like I'll be having that same result this time around. No, instead I have to deal with the foot lock and he goes towards the same bolt cutter and I tap without even trying to fight it. I've had my foot pop like that before and it took forever to recover from, so I'm just gonna let it go. I think this video serves as a good purpose where if you go to the gym and you get beat up, well, don't worry too much about it. It happens to everybody. And the only reason I say that is so you can cut me some slack when you see this happen to me. Yeah, that's right. I just got hit with the fireman's carry and I'm still trying to recover from it by going on his leg in the same way I've done in the past, even though he's been beating it with ease. However, this time I am on a mission. There's no way I'm going to let him submit me with something like mount or side control. I'm going to get out of this bad position. I'm a really big fan of trying to shrimp and then going in towards the turtle, so I'm pushing hard into him so I can hopefully create enough space where I can go towards my belly. And what do you know? I do get the plan finished, but it's not going to go the way you may think. I'm driving into him, I'm grabbing onto his shin, and I have to worry about that control he has over the back of my gi. It's really easy for him to keep me down, but he lets go of it willingly. As I finally work up towards the turtle, he tries to backstep, and I turtle on the opposite side, only to get caught in a quick armbar. Potentially I could have rolled forward to flip out of this, but the situation wasn't going to get much better. With 30 seconds left on the clock, I have to make my final stand. I've been clawing down a few times already and I have to make sure not to lose the last shred of my dignity in the final seconds. He starts the same way as before by having an upright stance and trying to use all these judo ties on me before he decides he's just going to go for an ankle pick. But this time I was ready to counter. As I worked towards single leg X, I knew he was going to high step out. I grabbed onto his leg and it was from here I had to wrestle him down. The grips were no longer in my way as I already had a good connection over his leg. I had to lift high so I could continue to ride him all the way through, and as I got to this single and I could work up to my knees, I knew I was about to lift him, slam him, guillotine him, and earn everything back. But thankfully for him, I ran out of time. Undoubtedly that would have happened and it wouldn't have been a replay of all these submissions.
That's your black belt now. No! It's tough.
Alright, so how'd I do? I wore the gi, sucked at it, got tapped a lot, that sucked, and I do think this role is uglier than Gordon Ryan, so it looks like I'm the big loser, but let me know in the comments below if you agree. Also check out xmartial.com where you can get some great looking gear, and hopefully it'll help you do better in jiu-jitsu than I just did in that match. Make sure to use promotion code Tyler10 so you can get a discount while shopping for your favorite items, but otherwise, thanks for watching the video.